So the Veda Purva can be subdivided into the mantra or the Samhita portion, the Brahmana portion, the Aranyaka portion, and the Veda Anta portion, or the ultimate portion of the Vedas that we are going to discuss today, because Vedanta also means Upanishads. Now, the Vedas are voluminous. Is there a shortcut? The answer is yes. And what is the shortcut? The Bhagavad Gita. Adi Shankara and other great teachers have said this. Lord Krishna has condensed the Vedas into the Bhagavad Gita in 700 verses. So the study of the Bhagavad Gita by itself is as good as studying the entire Vedic literature. However, for ardent students, parallel to the Bhagavad Gita, you can learn one or two Upanishads. Somebody goes to the great master Bhagavan Ramana and asks him, Bhagavan, how many Upanishads should I study? And the great master has an instant answer. To see your face, how many mirrors do you need? One mirror is okay. But sometimes you see, no, I would like to look from this side and from this side and from this side. And that is the beauty of these Upanishads. The Upanishads give your glory from the front, from the sides, from this side, from that side. And when you read more than one Upanishad, this is the beauty. Upanishads are talking about the same thing. That is why, although I have put the title Kathopanishad, after giving you a brief story, I will give the essence of what all Upanishads give. Because all Upanishads see the same thing. The question answer is different, but then the answer is about Brahman. What is Brahman all about? So our true nature, which is Atma or Brahma. So the Upanishad will answer that question. One Upanishad talks you from front, one from this side, one from this side. And if you want multiple mirrors and you want to see yourself, you're talking about your own glory. And why not see yourself in full glory? That is, if you want to see yourself in more number of things. Alright, today we enter into the world of the Upanishads. This is what Bhagavan Osho had to say. Today we are entering into the most enchanting and mysterious world of the Upanishads. This is the highest as far as the spiritual quest is concerned. Never before or never after has human consciousness attained to such Himalayan heights. The world of the Upanishads is so glorious. Like Sri Krishna, before he begins any chapter, he advertises so much. That Osho always begins by giving such. Now, these are called synonyms. Now, in Sanskrit, there is a book called Amarakosha. Amarakosha means the same word like synonyms. Now, what are the synonyms for Upanishads? Upanishad and Vedanta mean one and the same. Vedanta means the last portion of the Vedas because it gives you jnana or knowledge about your true nature. It is also called Jnana Kanda. It is also called Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, Upanishads. All these are synonyms for. Now, what is that? Can you break the meaning of the word Upanishad? Upa in Sanskrit. Upa in Sanskrit means
higher, up, going up, right? Near,
near,
sorry.
When you are near somebody, Upa means near, proximity, you're very close to. Upa means means a little lower. It has got multiple meanings. Shad means to destroy. So when you go to a teacher, you're going close to a teacher and you have to sit one level below and you sit down. So one meaning of the word is Upa, go close, sit little below the teacher and sit down. So that is one meaning. But the word Shad has got many meanings. It means to destroy any sense of limitations, to destroy ignorance, to destroy samsara and so on. Upa, what is closest to you? In fact, nothing can be closer to you. 7th chapter, mantra 7. Not mantra, I told you, in the Bhagavad Gita we talk about shlokas. 7th chapter, shloka 7. How does it go? Mattaha parataram na anyata kinchidasti dhananjaya. Next line. My sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. Just like you have a necklace with a string that holds all the jewels and the gems together, which is invisible, I pervade in and through everybody in an invisible manner. That all-pervasive thing which is very close to you, that is the Atma Tattva. Atma is closest to you. That is why Upa also means Atma. Me means Nischaya. I am absolutely convinced about this knowledge. So when you go to a teacher, you should be convinced. Me means Nischaya, convict. And Shad again means the one who takes you to your goal. Upanishad. This is considered as a very, very rare knowledge because, you know, if you are having what is that? We recently had Dasara and Navaratri. You know how many people will come? I'm surprised so many have come for an Upanishad talk. Upanishad talks are always single digits. Even if great teachers come, it is very rare for more than single digit. Some of you, Dharma, Mukut, I know you have tried so much contacting so many people. You have succeeded in bringing so many people because to bring people for the Upanishad is extremely rare. Because you have to have that special affinity. It's extremely rare to find a student. To find a student is very, very rare. You may find a teacher. That's what I said, that we have a little surplus of teachers, less of students. The teaching is not ordinary. I told yesterday also, somehow you can train yourself for neurosurgery, but the training for Upanishads is even more difficult. I'm not discouraging you, but if somebody really wants it, you know, I want to climb the mountains and I'm going, come what may. Today we will see a student called Nachiketa. Nachiketa is unstoppable. If that desire comes in you that nothing is going to stop me, you know, I want moksha and nothing else. Yesterday I put a quote by somebody who said, Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. Who is that? Tilak. So if you are going to say, moksha is my birthright and I will have it in this life itself. If that form of intense desire, and there is a Sanskrit word for that intense desire, and that is called mukshutva. Tivra mukshutva. Mukshutva also can be classified as manda, madhyama, uttama, and tivra. I want moksha among so many goals. Uttama, topmost goal. Tivra, only goal. Nothing else. So this is how. So these are the classification. This is the introduction to the student world. For all of us have to be Nachiketas. That is why nowhere, Adi Shankara begins his commentary on the Kathopanishad by bringing a prayer in which normally the teacher is revered, but here is including the student also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketa Secha. He brings in Nachiketa. So he introduces Nachiketa. Oh, I'm studying this, but he gives a reference to Brahma Vidyacharya, Mrityu, and Nachiketa. All of us have heard this prayer. Shall we chant it together? Om Asato Ma Sadhanaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is from the Upanishads. This mantra has come from the Upanishads. And can I ask a question? Somebody can tell me which Upanishad?
Is it Isha?
No.
Chandogya.
No. Okay, clue. It is like Chandogya. It is big. That's right. Brihad means big. Aranyaka means forest. It comes from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It has got 6 chapters. In the first chapter, right in the beginning itself, Om Purnamada, this one, Asatoma comes. Very beautiful mantra. You You've heard of this mantra? Awake, arise, stop not until your goal is won.
Yes.
This comes in Kathopanishad. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavaram, Nibodhata, Shurasyadara. Uttishtata, the Upanishad is telling you, wake up, get up, stop not until your goal is won. But it does not say exactly that. Prapyavaram, obtain a teacher, get a teacher. Nibodhata, enlighten yourself. The spiritual journey is like walking on a razor's edge. He says, Shurasya Dhara. Shurasya Dhara, Durataya Durgam. It is extremely difficult path, but you need a guide to take you on this razor's edge. The other block that we have in studying the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita is that it is in Sanskrit. Can somebody read this for me?
Sanskrit is the oldest language on the earth. It means transformed, refined. The language itself was transformed because so many enlightened people were using the language. Something of their joy penetrated it.
The word Sanskrit means samskrita. It means purified. It means refined. The language has gone through complete purification. And because so many enlightened people have used that language, it is so methodical, so, technically perfect language. It is also called Devavani, the language of the gods, and the place where the script was written is Devanagari. Upanishads can be classified into major Upanishads and minor Upanishads. This is a classification given by scholars. Now, when you say minor Upanishad, it does not mean those Upanishads are less important than other Upanishads. There are thousands of Upanishads, about 108 of them are available. Of them, Adi Shankara, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya have commented on 10 of them. There is a reason why they have commented only on 10 of them. Because these 10 give a complete view of us on all 10 directions. So one is that reason. Second is there is a book called the Brahma Sutras, and in the Brahma Sutras refer to quotations from these 10 Upanishads. The Brahma Sutra is one masterpiece of Vedanta by Vyasacharya that has references to from these 10 Upanishads. So there are minor Upanishads. Can anybody give me one example of a minor Upanishad?
Kena Upanishad.
Kena is major. Have you heard of Kaivalya Upanishad? Kaivalya is a minor Upanishad, but you will see what a great Upanishad it is. Swami Chinmayananda loved that Upanishad so much. So there are many Amrita Bindu Upanishad and so many. I said Mana Eva Manushyanam Karana Bandha is from Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Now there is one Upanishad called Muktiko Upanishad. The teacher is Sri Rama, the student is Hanuman. So there is a dialogue in that Upanishad about Upanishads. How many Upanishads are there, and which is a good Upanishads to study, and all that sort of discussion happens in Muktiko Upanishad, where the teacher is Sri Rama and the student is Hanuman. Now, all the Upanishads have come from the Vedas, because they are Veda Anta. That means the end portion of the Vedas, or the highest part of the Vedas. So the Rig Veda has got one major Upanishad called the Aitareya Upanishad. The Yajur Veda can be subclassified into Shukla, or the white school, and Krishna Upanishad, Krishna Yajur Veda. The Shukla Yajur Veda, or the white school, has got Ishavasya Upanishad and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Whereas the Krishna Yajur Veda has got Taittiriya Upanishad and the Upanishad we are going to refer today as Kathopanishad. Then comes the Sama Veda. Sama, those who like music, it's a musical Veda, and there are two important Upanishads from the major ones, Chandogya and Kenopanishad. Then comes the Atharva Veda. From Atharva Veda you have Prashnopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandukyopanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad. Kaivalya comes under the minor Upanishad. Before we study any Upanishad, there is a tradition that we have to study what is called a Shanti Pata. The Shanti Pata does not belong to the Upanishad itself, but we are supposed to chant that Shanti Pata. Shanti Pata is an invocation, it is a prayer invocation, to be done both by the student and by the teacher. Now, whenever we do any activity, any important activity, we invoke Lord Ganesha to see that there should be no obstacles. I am studying the Upanishads now, and therefore we study Shanti Pata. Now the Shanti Pata is supposed to give a stay order. Sometimes you get from the court a stay order, no interruption. Interruption for what? You know, our own karmas, our own past karmas can produce blocks. The blocks can become in 3 levels. That is why at the end of every Shanti Pata we chant
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. What are the 3 Shantis for? Adi,
Devik,
Daivika, Adi,
Bhautika,
Bhautika, Adhyatmika. Adi Daivikas. So there are, that is why, do we have the Navagraha here?
It's
Yeah,
right
right,
behind
right,
you.
right.
Behind me? Yeah. Now, this is all very important. After the main deity, everybody comes here because these Navagrahas have the ability to deliver your karma. But then we pray to them and say, during my prayer time, stay order. No, and they listen to you also. It is a stay order. During that time, there is not going to be any major problems. So our, Adi Daivika from the divine forces, Adi Bhautika, you can have storms and other worldly forces. And Adhyatmika, I may have problems within me. My mind could be distracted. So these are the 3. So a Shanti Pata is common for one particular. Each Veda has got its own Shanti Pata. So that means, for example, we have that mantra Om Purnamada Purnamidam. It will come for all Yajurveda Upanishads, and in Yajurveda there are 2 schools, I said, Shukla Yajurveda. So whenever there is Isha or Brihadaranya Upanishad, we will say Om Purnamada Purnamidam. In Yajurveda there is Krishna Yajurveda, that is the same Upanishad. Have you heard of that mantra which goes like this, Shanti Pata? Om Sahana Vavatu. Can we chant?
Om
Sahana Vavatu.
Saino Bhavatu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavadidamastu Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Let us come here. This is the Shanti Pata for which Upanishad? Krishna Yajurveda. It is Yajurveda Upanishad, Krishna Yajurveda. Therefore, what are the Upanishads that we chant this for? Kathopanishad and Taittiriya Upanishad. Now, do we want to know the meaning? Mr. Bansal, anyway, all of us, are in that level where we want to know the meaning. I just don't want to chant them. So, every prayer begins with Om. There is an entire Upanishad explaining about the significance of Omkara. In fact, all Upanishads bring Om there, including Kathopanishad brings a lot of Om related mantras, but there is one mantra called, which Upanishad talks exclusively on Omkara? That's right, it is the Mandukya. Mandukya means what? Manduka means what? Frog. Because it jumps from the waking to the dream to the deep state, from A, U, Ma. So it is the jumping Upanishad. It is the shortest Upanishad, only 12 mantras, but it is the most profound Upanishad, deals with Om. But all Upanishads talk about Om. So Om means silence. So we begin with silence. Om. Saha means this body, 2 of us, master and student. Avatu, protect us. Sahana Vavatu, please protect us. Sahana Bhunaktu, let us enjoy this experience. Saha Viryam Karavavahe, let us be elevated into a higher level of understanding. Let us put effort. So Viryam also means prayatna, to put effort. Tejas, let my intellect become bright. Mavid Vishavahe, may there be no quarrel amongst us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sheila, can you read this for me, please?
The whole thing?
Yes.
Ishvara Anugraha, God's grace. Om Sahana Vavatu. May the Lord protect both of us, teacher and student. Jnanam. Sahanau Bhunattu. May He nourish both of us, nourishment in the form of knowledge Jivan Mukti. Prayatna or self-effort. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Whatever is required to gain this knowledge, may we make an effort for that. Effort. How? On the part of the student, have Shraddha, commitment, retention and recollection of the knowledge imparted. On the part of the teacher, have commitment, time, patience, compassion, and ability to communicate the teaching.
And the final part is, let there be no disagreement between us, no quarrel between us. Please read.
Meda Shakti or memory power. Tejas Vina Adhitam Astu. Let us both be transformed by this study. Let the understanding not be vague, but be brilliant and shine forth. It is about I and has to be understood very clearly, my true nature. 3 obstacles. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Adi Daivika, that the problems not arise from forces over which we have no control. Adi Bhautika, problems from the beings around us. Adhyatmika, problems from factors centered on ourselves.
That is why we have Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Let us just chant this one more chant together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Dachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll book this for my next visit, Mukut. Because if I go on explaining all the Shanti Pathas, we will not reach that Upanishad. So this is superlative. But we will reserve this for another time to understand the meaning of Om Purnamada, Om Purnamida. I promised Mr. Bansal, let us talk about the simplest of mantras. In Yajurveda, Yajurveda has got 2 schools, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. In both the Yajurvedas, there is something of a treasure, and that is called Shri Rudra. It is in the middle of Yajurveda. And in the middle of Shri Rudram comes one mantra called Panchakshari. It is Na-Ma Shiva. So sometimes you say, do I need to know all these Upanishads? The teacher will say, not required. Just chant Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya alone is enough. Shiva means auspiciousness. The one who brings in auspiciousness. Shivam, Shivakaram, Shantam, Shivatmanam, Shivottamam, Shivamarga Pranetaram, Pranatosmi, Sada Shivaha. So Shiva means everything to do with auspiciousness. I spoke to you about what is the kind of a teacher that you require. The teacher that you require has to have 2 qualifications. One is a Shrotriya. One has the ability to communicate his understanding. Second is a Brahmanishta. Now there is one beautiful verse of the Bhagavad Gita, right? I can see about me. I think it is in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Ananyas, can we chant together? Ananyas chintayanto ma yejana pariyupasate tesham nityapi yuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananya, not no other. Ananya chintayanto ma, only on me. Or can you see me as not different from me? Ananya chintayanto ma yo bhajante ma, those who see me as not different. Tesham, for them, nityavi yuktana yogakshema, all their requirements, whatever you require, I shall provide it for you. Human birth is rare, very rare, too precious to lose it. 3 things all of us have. Manushyattvam, human being. Mumukshutvam, that's why you have come here, the desire for moksha. Mahapurusha, in the presence of a guru. And if you have these 3 things, it is extremely difficult. Finally, we have come to today's topic. I will be very brief because the introduction and the recap has taken some time, but does not matter. Now this is Swami Chinmayananda's book on Upanishad, and if you can see the symbolism, there are two things. One is Omkara. Omkara represents Atma or something infinite. The second is a pendulum which signifies time. Kala Tattva. Yamadharmaraja is also called. Kal means death, Kal also means time. So from time to timelessness to eternity. Once Jesus was asked, how will heaven be like? And he said, there is no time. There is no sense of time. So when you're fast asleep and you have no sense of time, temporarily you have a heaven-like experience. So this Upanishad from Krishna Yajurveda, 119 mantras over 2 chapters, each chapter comprising about 3 vallis, totally 6 vallis. Valli means a creeper. And if you have creeper and flowers, the mantras are like the flowers on the Upanishad. The teacher is Dharmaraja, Yama Dharmaraja. Have you heard of Yamuna? What is the relationship of Yama, Yamuna?
Sister.
That's right, brother and sister. Yamuna is the sister and Yama is the brother. So Yama Dharmaraja. And without giving any copyright, without even acknowledging the source, he has directly pilfered or sometimes made slight modifications, as you will see, which come from the Bhagavad Gita, originally from Upanishad. Very quickly, I will tell you the story. The story of a certain person called Vajishravas was doing a big oven called Visvajit Yaga. In Visvajit Yaga, you are supposed to give away everything in dana. You give away your house, your possessions, everything, so that you book a slot in heaven. So this is one of the highest of yagas that you do. Whenever you're doing a yaga for a purpose, there is any exercise can be sakama or nishkama. Nishkama is without any desire. So in nishkama there are no rules. You can, supposing you're doing a japa, nishkama, it does not matter. But when you're doing it sakama, for something, you have to follow the rules. He was not following the rules, he was skinching, and part of the skinching was that he kept all the good things for himself, all the bad cows that which had, very short time to live. And the little boy whose son was watching this, he says, whoever gets this sort of cattle, it's going to be a liability for them. Why is my father doing this? So the boy looks at the father and says, you're supposed to give everything away. Whom are you giving me to? You were reading that mantra. So once, twice. When the third time the boy told the father, whom are you giving me? The boy was a little cheeky, 10-year-old boy. The father said, I'll give you to death. And when you say something in that Yagashala, it becomes true. How it happened, we do not know. It was reached Yamaloka. But he was not on Yama's list, so Yama did not, get. What is the meaning of the word Atithi? Tithi means date time. Now, supposing somebody is coming to you at a particular date and time, he gives you a certain tithi. But somebody has knocked on your door and has come without prior information. He is called Atithi. Atithi Devo Bhava. That is our tradition. Normally, as doctors, we find it so difficult to see a patient who has not come with prior appointment. Have you taken an appointment? No. How can I see you? There is no schedule for you. But in our tradition, they are considered as Atithi. They have come to you. Atithi Devo Bhava. So he was an Atithi. He has come to the Lord, and the Lord was not there for 3 days and 3 nights. And he was so apologetic. He does Pada Puja for him. And then he said, I will give you 3 boons. You can ask me whatever you want. I have, the little boy had to wait 3 days, 3 nights without any food, and tremendous amount of resilience. Not that there was nobody there. They offered him everything. He said, no, I have to wait for him. Only after his permission I can eat. So 3 days he fasted. And based on this, there are 3 human goals. So this boy uses the 3 boons to tell us what are the 3 things that all of us have to fulfill as rinas. It is called Pitra Rina, Loka Rina, and Acharya Rina. The first thing that boy asks is, I have made my father angry. I have made my father upset. And can you see the state of mind of a father who has lost his son? I know he's going to be extremely upset, and I made him angry. My Lord, I want you to pacify my father, please. So he says, Tatastu, your father will sleep in peace. Not only that, I will send you in this body, you will go back to your father. Your father is not going to be disturbed. So Yamadharmaraja does more than your request. I will send you back to him so that your father can sleep in peace. So he's just asking him for boons, and he's doubling his boons, whatever he's asking for. So the boy asks, so it tells us that all of us, one important rina we have is to our parents. Our parents have done so much for us. One thing is clear, we cannot do for our parents what they have done for us. We do for our children, but there is always a feeling that I have not done for my parents what they have done for me. How do you fulfill Pitra Rina? Comes in our Shastras. If our parents are able to hear from others how blessed they are to have a son or a daughter like you, that means if you live your life in such a way that others tell your parents, you're so lucky to have a son or a daughter like this, you fulfill Pitra Rina. Second is Loka Rina. All of you contribute to this place and in your own way that you serve. If each day that you feel that I have contributed more, shift from being a consumer to being a contributor, you fulfill debt number 2. The third is this one. What is this one, Acharya Rina? So, first 2 debts. Many details I'm going to skip now. The boy asks for a certain ritual so that all the people can book the places to heaven. And Yamadharmaraja teaches it, and it is named after Nachiketa. It's called Nachiketa Yajna, and that is an additional boon he gives, so it is known as Nach. So the boy says for the community, everybody wants to go to heaven. And then he gives certain qualities. In heaven there is no aging, there is no sickness, there is no death, there is no hunger, there is no thirst, there is no shoka moha, there is no role for a psychiatrist there, there is no any form of a sorrow, mental agonies are not there. The boy says, all people want to go to heaven. Can you give me a method? So he gives the method, and in the Vedas come a method to go to heaven described by Yamadharmaraja to Nachiketa, and it is named as Nachiketa. That is boon number 2. So this is what is given us. The third boon is going to ask now. And this is the Yeyam Prete Chikitsa Manushya. All people have some doubt. Asti ete na, when a person dies, this is this question. Somebody has died, the body is here, and you will say he's gone. Body is here, but you say he's gone. Who has gone? That is what he wants to know. See, some people say that there is something that survives death. Some people say nothing survives death. I want to know, what is that which survives after death? Can you tell me that? So, that was his question. When somebody dies, you say he is gone. Now, we give in our own example about gross body, subtle body. Like when you have, in the older phones, you had a SIM card. The SIM card is like the subtle body that travels after death, which has a record of our identity, our phone number, the number of calls you have made, your data, which is your punya or the papa, that goes from one body to another. So that is, see, all that is discussed in the Upanishad in various ways. So you have these various bodies. In the second chapter particularly, it will talk about gross body, subtle body, and consciousness and so on. So, now when he asks this question, I want to know what happens after death. This is the question. Now, it is like a person comes and says, I have a dream to become a neurosurgeon. Yes, I can train you, but do you have the required qualifications? So, Yamadharmaraja said yes for the boon 1, yes for boon 2. But then he says, when you want to know really what survives death, he says this is something extremely difficult to teach, and you are too young to know all these things. And the boy says, see, I've got a teacher like you. And then he he puts him into a tremendous level of examination. He gives him all the kinds of temptations in the world. He gives him all the wealth in the world, all the power. He says, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, don't ask for this. So the whole of the first chapter is the various forms of temptation. And these temptations are in the form of Viveka, Vairagya, Mokshutvam, Shakta Sampatti. These are called the eligible qualifications before a person comes. If a person comes for Vedanta without these qualifications, the teacher has to spend a lot of time helping us to prepare. Now if this preparation is there, Shravanam alone is enough. Just by listening to the teacher, you get spiritual wisdom. If this is not there, if the basic qualifications are not there, then we have to spend time on these basic qualifications. So the teacher is now so impressed by the boy, he's praising him. So the boy is now, so he has passed, but he is still not giving him the answer. So he puts his question once again, Anyatra dharma, anyatra adharma. I don't want anything moral science about dharma and adharma. Can you tell me something beyond dharma? Anyatra asmat krita akrita, something beyond cause and effect. Anyatra, something beyond time. So I want to know that. Now by this question, we know we are not talking about the subtle body, that SIM card that travels. By this question, it is very clear. I want to know about Atma. I want to know about Brahman. What is Brahman all about? So then he talks about Shreyas, Preyas, Dharmartha Kama, Moksha Purushartha. These are the two I told you. Before starting, he gives them this beautiful mantra. Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti Tapagmin Itim Sarvam Sarvani Yat Vadanti Yat Ichanti Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravini Om Etad. This question that you asked me, what is it that survives? It is Om. It is Omkar. And it is said if you meditate on Om, that also gives you a certain amount of eligibility to come to Brahma Vidya. Very quickly, I will tell you in summary what the entire Kathopanishad or entire Upanishadic wisdom is all about. We have to know what is Brahman or Atma. All the Upanishads, the 108 odd Upanishads, talk only about Atma. That means these 6 questions we should know. What is Brahman? Where is Brahman located? What is my relationship with Brahman? What is the nature of this Brahma Vidya? Why is this Brahma Vidya different from medical or engineering or any other form of knowledge? What is the method of knowing this knowledge? What is the benefit of knowing this knowledge? Alright, shall we go through a quick, what is Brahman? The word Brahman means the big one, the infinite. So there is something called Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana means what is its essential nature? It is of the nature of something that is always there, Sat. It is of the nature of consciousness, and it is of the nature of Ananda or limitlessness. So what is Brahman? Brahman is the big, the infinite one. Of the nature of Sat means existence, consciousness. You're listening to the silence. And what type of consciousness? Ananta, limitless. Ananda and Ananta. So, first is what is Brahman? The big one, the infinite. Where is Brahman located? If Brahman is infinite, it should be everywhere. If it is there, it should be here also. So, Brahman is located everywhere. What is my relationship with Brahman? I have come from Brahman, I am sustained by Brahman, I go back to Brahman. This is what is called Tatastha Lakshana. It is a relationship with reference to. What is the nature of this knowledge? Now I'll come to it. See, any objective knowledge, if I want to study about the brain or the heart, then there is a model of the brain, model of the heart, or I can go to a dead body and study. So it is called objective knowledge. Brahma Vidya is subjective knowledge. It is about the self. That is why extremely difficult, because the teacher cannot show you the self. It is your very nature. What is the method of knowing it? After the basic qualifications, you go to a teacher. The teacher will tell you the teaching, that is called Shravana. Then doubts come. How can I be Brahman? You have to clarify all the doubts. So the teacher is extremely patient in clarifying. That is called Mananam. And once that Mananam happens, you meditate on it until you understand. Now, for example, I have come to this country where the driving is different from the way you drive in India. Now, normally if Mukut is giving me a ride, I will know I am in America, but I still go to the wrong side thinking, and I open the car door and I see the steering. So I know, but still because of my past experiences, I continue to make a mistake. Although I know where I am, the right and left, because of the past habit. So what is my past habit? I have the experience, I'm a small, limited person, finite individual. When somebody says you are infinite, it takes months, years for this information to settle down. And that is done through Mananam. And even if I'm convinced about that, I still make mistakes every time I go to the wrong door. So that requires a certain training called Nididhyasana. What is the benefit of getting this knowledge? Purnatva. I'm utterly fulfilled. There is nothing more to do. So, what is Brahman? Quickly, Sheila, please read this to me.
Brahman means infinite, the big. Sat means that which is. Chit,
Consciousness.
Ananda,
Ananda, infinite.
Brahman is the cause of this entire world.
So, Brahman, please read.
What is Brahman? That from where all beings are born, that by which all of them are sustained, and that unto which they go. Where is Brahman located? Brahman is all pervading. Brahman is there in the cave of your own heart as your own self.
For example, electricity is there all over. But where do I find electricity? I have to seek for it in the point. So too, Brahman is everywhere. But if I have to discover it, I discover it in the cave of my heart. That means symbolically, I need to find it within myself. Please read.
What is my relationship with Brahman? Brahman is the cause. Tat Tvamasi, that thou art. We should know that we are one with the infinite Brahman.
Okay, what is the nature of this knowledge? See, there are three kinds of knowledge. One is called Paroksha. For example, I have never been to Niagara Falls, but I've heard so much about Niagara Falls. So I get internet, YouTube videos from the Canadian side, from the American side, and from the bottom top, drone pictures. So all this information which I have got indirectly is called Para-Aksha. That means I'm seeing it through somebody else's eyes. Aksha means mine. One day I get to see Niagara with my own eyes. It is called Pratyaksha. Now, is Brahma Vidya Paroksha or Pratyaksha?
Okay.
It is neither. Because Brahman cannot be seen. It cannot be seen by
object.
somebody else's eyes or in mine. It is what is called Aparoksha. So Brahman can be, please read this.
What is the nature of this knowledge, Brahma Vidya? The nature of Brahman, which is my own self, the nature of such a knowledge is called Aparoksha Jnanam. Brahman is not an object.
So this is the difficulty for all the teaching or the teacher to help you to discover that what I am talking about is not me, not this body, but that indweller Brahman. Please read.
What is the method of knowing that? Under the guidance of a teacher, reflect on the knowledge and meditate. Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. What is the benefit of knowing Brahman? Complete fulfillment, no rebirth, total liberation or moksha.
So in essence, I have not gone into the mantras of Kathopanishad. This is what kind of a teacher you need? Ananya Prokta Agati Astra Nasti. Supposing you get the right kind of a teacher. You remember that mantra? Ananya Chintayantoma. So when you get the right kind of a teacher, and we are so fortunate to get the right kind of teacher, Tat Padam Darshitam Yena, who is able to open your eyes to see what he is able to see. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the Atma being so subtle, extremely difficult to teach, So it needs a guru like him to be able to give us this teaching. Let us chant this together. This is like a concluding prayer. Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Parayushasate Tesham Nitya Viyuttanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. It is on that board right there. Meditate on this mantra, beautiful mantra, which says, if you see me as not other than yourself, or if you meditate on me only Ananya, then whatever you require, I will take care. Now please read this for me, Sheila.
Footprints in the sand. One night, I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord. Scenes from my life flashed across the sky. In each, I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were two sets of footprints. Other times there was only one. During the low periods of my life, I could see only one set of footprints. So I said, "You promised me, Lord, that you would walk with me always. Why, when I needed you most, have you not been there for me?"
Answer why?
He was carrying him.
The Lord replied, the times when you have seen only one set of footprints, my child, is when I carried you. And you will see that word Vahamyaham. Vahamyaham means in those moments, the word Vahamya means I have carried you. So, Ananya, if you are such a bhakta, he says, don't worry, trust, I will take care of you. That is the promise Sri Krishna. See, when you read the scriptures and when you see the promise of the Lord, we should have no doubt about that. The Lord has said it. If there is even a little bit of doubt, then we don't have Shraddha. When you go through the teaching, you go with Shraddha, what the Lord is going to say is true. Now, these are the beautiful mantras which Sri Krishna has taken. Najayati, Priyadeva, Vikascha, so I'm not going into all of them. Now, I told you, Upanishads are like mirrors. So it helps you to see. Today our mirrors are our selfies. You see your selfie from this direction. So these are those mantras which are Na Jayati, Priyateva, I do not die. I have been there from the very beginning if there is a beginning. So the whole Upanishad can be taken as your selfie or mirrors to help you to know not your body but your true self. So the Nachiketa's question was, can you tell me something about Anyatra Dharma? The Lord replies, Yetad Vaitar, Yetad Vaitar. Every time he drills into Nachiketa's head. And finally, you were reading that verse, Doctor, where, can you read that last verse of the first chapter where, you know, these are the promise of Yamadharmaraja. Mrityu Prokte Nachiketa, about that. So before she comes to it, the Lord Yamadharmaraja says, this discussion of Kathopanishad, if you read this, if you're able to understand this, you will be glorified in Brahmaloka. That means the highest Purushartha I will get you, that is what you will be able to attain. And this is the promise of Nachiketa.
This is Nachiketam Upakhyanam Mrityu Proktam Sanatanam Uktva Shukvacha Medhavi Brahmaloke Mahiyate.
Thank you. Now, you see this picture of the Bhagavad Gita? This picture of the Bhagavad Gita is very much elaborated in the third vali of Kathopanishad, where they give my body is the chariot, the race is the mind, the one who's controlling it is Sri Krishna, and I am the passenger. And Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Tani Sarvani Samyamya Yukta Asita Matparaha. Now, if you can put me on the driver's seat, see, Arjuna put Sri Krishna on the driver's seat. So, in this chariot example, you will reach yourself. It is not an outer journey. You will reach yourself. This is from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But our job is to put Sri Krishna on the driver's seat. Finally, I will conclude by this verse also from Kathopanishad. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavarani Bodhata. Wake up. Shurasya Dara, you like awake and arise, you will attain the Thank you very much, Sri Guru Bhyo.
Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed the presentation of Dr. Hegde. Now we have a question and answer session like we have been doing for the last 2 days. So if you have a question, you come to this mic here, state your name for the sake of Dr. Hegde's knowledge, who you are, and ask a question. Make it as brief as possible, ask a question. Thank you. Okay. Come on.
Mukut is will be made the administrator or admin on our one of our WhatsApp groups. Those of you who would love to be part of our study group, you will be put in that group, so you will get information about our classes. You can join for the live recording, where after the recording is over, you have an opportunity to clarify doubts and interaction. But if you don't have the time, it will be on, we'll tell you when it will come on YouTube, so you can listen to these course, the Upanishads, and all that is already there. Half of it, the classes are somewhere in between.
So nobody has any questions. Should we close or we have a dinner after the question and answer session. So please make sure you eat the Mahaprasad, Prasad, Devala and others have prepared, and Kudi Raji has have. A lot of people who helped us making this happen. Thank Temple Executive Committee as well as Board of Trustees to make this happen. And I certainly, this would have been not happened if Dr. Hegde has not accepted this invitation, my kind invitation. To tell you, I have not known Dr. Hegde from before 1920 or so. I've been listening to him. But there was no way for me to reach to him to see if he can come here. So somehow, let me tell you how I got to know him. Just for the curiosity for all of you. 6 months or 8 months ago, we had a puja conducted in this temple downstairs. Dharma and others. Yes. What was this puja, Dharma? What was the name? Meenakshi Puja. And we had South Indian, typical South Indian prasadam. She has invited cooks from Dallas or somewhere else, and they made a very good prasadam here for us. And there was this little girl sitting there in the temple eating prasadam. I approached her. Her name is Swada. She is not here, otherwise I would have brought her here. She's a colorectal surgeon in AU. So she came and she told me that her father-in-law, mother-in-law, husband are from Jaipur. I said, wow, great. They are from Jaipur. Come over to my house for dinner when they come. So I invited their father-in-law and mother-in-law to my house for dinner. Prior to that, I had a grand-niece in Bangalore who I called in January, February, to see if I could somehow get Dr. Hegde's cell phone number. But no way, I failed. But God had different plans. So Swada's father-in-law, mother-in-law they came to my house for dinner. And Swada's father-in-law is also a neurosurgeon, a neurologist in Jaipur. And he tells me that he did his training in Bangalore. I just somehow asked him, I said, do you know Dr. Hegde? And he said, I have his cell phone. I said, wow, what a journey. So I said, I need his phone number. He gave me his cell phone number. The very same night, I texted Dr. Hegde that this is Mukut Sharma from such and such place, and I would like to talk with you. What is the best time I can reach you? And his reply is, you can call me anytime. As you know, how soft spoken he is. Next morning I woke up and I made a call to Dr. Hegde. And I expressed my desire for him. I expressed my desire for him to come to this temple and give us this discourse, 3 days discourse that he gave. I said, what is your expectation from me or from our temple? And his answer was nothing. So Dr. Hegde has come here exclusively, nowhere else, for this discourse to this temple. So how fortunate I am, and how fortunate all of us are here for Dr. Hegde. So Dr. Hegde does not need any kind of help from this temple, from any one of us. But he follows his Guru Parampara called Param Vedanta group. And that's who he learns from. And he learns and then turns around and educates us. So anything you would like to contribute for that cause, that his gurus, please do make a check or cash to Hindu Temple Society. In that check, you can make it to Paravedanta. This is not mandatory for anybody. If you have learned something today and benefit from it, that is the most greatest benefit we can derive from this talk. So thank you all for coming.
Question.
Huh?
I think someone may have a question.
I thought nobody got up for the question. Anybody has questions? Okay. Okay, we got a question finally after waiting. Rashmi has a question.
Thank you, Dr. Hegde, for coming and for the discourses that you've given. Mine is just like just a general question with all of these Upanishads and other things. Do you have a recommendation, like if somebody wanted to look into it more or read or study more, is there like a particular order or where to kind of go first and how to study this topic?
There is an order. Generally, it is said the simplest Upanishad and the most complete short Upanishad is Mundaka Upanishad. Very nice. This is a little longer, 119 mantras, but this is 2 Upanishads are very good for beginners, both Mundaka or Kathopanishad.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
The emphasis of your talk was to gain spiritual knowledge, you have to find a real guru. And in these days, with so many gurus floating around, how does one go about searching for a guru?
I can only answer whatever my teachers have said. That, and I said this in the yesterday's session also, it is extremely difficult for us to know who's the right guru. We will not know. But if that guru search, the seeking for knowledge is intense in us, the guru will find you certain. When the student is ready, the master will appear in physical form. This is my assurance to you. In some form, the teacher will come, and the right guru, we cannot seek. Seek means we have to make our effort. But the guru you can find. And when you find that connection, that is the day we talk. I spoke of the previous day when it's called Pariksha Lokan Karanchita. My life takes a 180-degree turn. From pursuing outside, I start looking inward. I still continue to do whatever I do, but now the focus is something else. The guru will find you if my seeking is earnest and intense. It is said, see, like we have cameras everywhere, everything in our heart is known to somebody who has some fleet of gurus. It is like Uber. If you have a requirement, you will deliver the car will come to you, the guru will come to you. I'm convinced of it.
We talk of moksha, and moksha is that you don't come back into the cycle of life and death. But if I am doing bhakti, I am in bhakti yoga. And why should I have a desire for moksha? I mean, I want to if I'm enjoying my bhakti, I'm enjoying the divinity, and I want to keep that relation of like Hanuman did with the Rama, and they said, okay, I am your bhakta, I want to just enjoy, then why should even I have the desire of moksha?
Not required. Not required. If your connection to the Bhagavan is so intense, there is no need to follow moksha as prescribed in the Upanishads. Not required.
And
This is prescribed only for those people who have a moksha ichcha, who come under the category of those whom I said pariksha lokan. They have examined the world. I have tried, but then dukkha mishritatvam, atiriptikaratvam, bandhakatvam, whatever I have got is admixed. There is thoda meetha, thoda khatta. There is happiness. There is no pure completion, and still there is some incompletion. And if that incompletion is required, then the teachers will say there is something else. That is only for those who want it. But as I told you, that particular mantra there, Ananya Chintayanto, that alone is sufficient. That one shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, and I adore my Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna will take care of you. You really don't have to go through all this.
And one small question too. I'm not a Sanskrit student, and just for clarification,
Take the mic, otherwise others will start. at
just for clarification, when you put those shlokas there at the end, you said Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, and usually we say Om Shanti 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 Hi. There is no He there. And is it that we added it, or we have to, it is there or it is not there? Just for my
I think it is
clarification.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Although on the text it is not there.
But it is good to say
Yeah, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Or
There's
if
a
you say
visarga,
Om,
there's a visarga at the
There's a
end,
visarga.
that has to be.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Said that. But if I say Om Shanti 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 Om, no,
Shanti.
that's wrong.
You
Okay.
can't change mantras.
Thank you very much.
I'm Anil Bhargav, visiting from Atlanta. My question is related but not directly related to this topic, has to do with meditation. So I do struggle with meditation. Can you give some idea of what meditation is? And there are so many ways to practice it. What should a common layman like me try to accomplish? I do know that meditation is not an activity, it is just being in your own awareness. But those are good words. How to practice that is beyond me. So if you can shed some light, that'll be great. Thank you.
One thing that has touched me very deeply about meditation, and I've been doing in this group, is you got it? This is what is called objectless meditation, where I am aware of nothing in particular, but that is the quintessence of meditation. Initially, I will need something to anchor. For example, there is what is tratak? What is tratak? Can somebody tell me? You keep your eyes open and watch a flame, that flickering flame, until tears come. So initially you need something to hold on to, like a japa sadhana. So all forms of japa are all forms of upasana. Upasana is the one form of meditation. The word upasana means saguna ishvara jnana. So on Ishvara, whichever Lord you like, on that you Sri Rama Jaya Rama. I am anchoring my mind, I am taking my mind from everything else, I focus on one. That is one form of meditation. That Saguna Ishvara Dhyana. So initially I need something to hold on to. After the mind is trained, you will come to a state when you can come to a state where you are not relating to anything else like this. Continue as long as you can in that phase of objectless awareness. So initially meditate on that, then meditate on the observer, become aware, I am aware, and then just pure awareness. There is no, so if there is meditation, I will talk about 3 levels. If you study, those who have studied the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is a wonderful manual on meditation. So those where Sri Krishna gives the yogic school of meditation, where initially it could be on a certain object, and then in Vedantic meditation it is called, you've heard that mantra, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Ninaham Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. So these are all called Nididhyasana mantras. So Nididhyasana is, I know that I have to, here you drive on the opposite side. So I need to remind myself. So I have to remind myself, I'm not this ordinary human being, I am Atma Brahma. So I'm given a mantra to meditate on that. So initially, so mantras, meditations of 2 types. One is called Upasana. Upasana is with form, and it could be a mantra also. Later on you go beyond Upasana. For that you have to go through a school of teaching, where the teacher will teach you the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, and then meditate on verses like this. Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Ninaham Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. So that is called Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is called Vedantic meditation. So I have answered it in both ways. One is that we need to come to that state, the state of being at peace wherever you are, even in a noisy environment where nothing is going to disturb my peace.
Comment.
Can you come here, please?
Comment related to what Shyam Vermaji asked. Wonderful question. Shyam Vermaji's, is complete surrender enough? If that is enough, if you really believe in God completely, if you give yourself 100% to Him, why do you even have to think about moksha and all that stuff? Wonderful question that has been asked very frequently in the past by all the Vaishnavite saints. For example, in Mukundamala by Kulashekara Arva, that's precisely what he says. I really don't care what you do with me. You send me to heaven or hell, it doesn't bother me. I'm at your feet 100%. And goes again back to Vishishtadvaita Tattvam. And there are 2 branches of Vishishtadvaita Tattvam. One is Markata Bhakti and Marjala Bhakti. Markata Bhakti, monkey. Lord, just like a baby monkey, clings on to mother monkey and says, okay, I'm holding on to you 100% tightly. You carry me and take me wherever you want, which will most certainly be the right path and leading to the right destination. And Marjala Bhakti, Vadakalai Tenkalai Vikaran, Iyengar said, Marjala Bhakti, cat Bhakti. So just like it here, oh Lord, I'm incapable of even holding on to you 100% tightly because I'm human, I'm prone to errors, I'm subject to Maya, my mind might wander and not catch on to you 100% tightly, so I'll be a kitten. Just like the mother cat holds on to the kitten, picks it up, and takes it everywhere in the right direction, leading to the right destination, you do that to me. So that is it, lots of Arvas have answered that question. Why Arva? Even Shankaracharya has mentioned it in many places. Even moksha is not my goal. My goal is to do my duty 100%. And that is to surrender to you in Shivananda Lahiri and some of those bhakti-oriented texts. And you will, which is why Advaita is definitely not closet Buddhism. Ishvara. I'm obsessed with it, sorry.
Anybody, any more question? Swati, Mohan, come on. No? Anyone?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Devbala has requested me that a lot of people have had. I'm always afraid to name people because when you start naming people, you always forget. Every one of us who have come here has had, if they have, they can take something from this knowledge that we have heard. इस ज्ञान से अगर किसी ने थोड़ा सा भी कुछ सीख लिया, अपने जीवन में उतार लिया, I'm already indebted to those people. So anyway, Nimita auntie, Sheila auntie, Puneet and Poonam, Archana and Siddheshwar, Dharma and Shankar, all these people have helped us every step of the way. So thank you all of you here. Thank you for coming. It's time for Aarti. We'll have some Aarti done. And before we do the Aarti, we will have a concluding words from
Him and his wife.
huh?
This is for him and his wife.
Concluding word from our president, Shri Sharad Purohit and Pandit ji.
Priest will bless them.
Huh?
Priest will bless them.
Yeah, bless.
Chetna.
Chetna.